I'm playing my roommate for the fourth time in an over-the-board rated game. This is round 3 of the Frederick Showdown, and I'm playing against Ethan, my roommate, for the third time this calendar year. And this is my first tournament as a 2000, as an expert, as they call it. If you reach over 2000 USCF, you become an expert. So I'm an expert now, and I play Knight of 3 against my roommate. This is game in 30 plus 5 seconds per move, so kind of on the shorter side, and this is a no engine recap until the end of this video. Ethan plays d5, I play g3, he plays c5, I play bishop g2. So this is kind of, so I've been occasionally playing this ready setup where I don't take control of the center first. I first develop my knight and fianchetto my bishop and then castle, and then I'll get around to controlling the center one way or another. The ready is a nice way for me to switch things up, and my goal is to make it so my opponents are never 100% sure what I'm going to play. That's always my goal. I don't want my opponent to 100% know what I'm going to play. And yeah, last game I played against Ethan, I played the e4. This time I'm playing the ready, so kind of just switching it up as I go. So anyways, I fianchetto my bishop, he plays knight c6, and now I play d4. If I just castle, he has the option to play e5. He has the option to play e5 here, and he just has a big black center, and this is not so pleasant. This is a reverse King's Indian defense, so it's the King's Indian attack. But but those positions are dubious at a minimum. I'm sure it's equal, probably, because everything's equal. But against knight c6, I like to play d4 here. I know that's one of the main options. I like to play d4. Because now e5 is not possible, and if he takes, now he can play e5, but now this is a reverse Grunfeld defense. So this is more, a lot of times this position is obtained as black, but now I'm white, so I'm up a tempo, and so even though black has a big black center, it's an easy target. I can play c4, knight c3, queen a4, and target the center. So it's actually a pretty common, even though there's a difference between allowing e5 with c5 here and this knight supporting with knight c6, and a position with e5 here where the knight is no longer on c6 and the pawn is not on c5. There's a huge difference. And this with the center like this, it is a target. Okay. But the thing is, he does not take on d4. He actually just goes e6, defending his center. I castle, and now he takes on d4. So what's the difference? So, I thought the knight takes d4, he might go bishop c5 here, and attacking my knight one more time. So I would have to consider, am I going to play bishop e3? Am I going to play c3? Am I going to play knight b3? Those are all considerations I have to make. But he doesn't do that. He goes e5 now. So he actually went e6, and then e5. So he actually lost the tempo. So now I know that this position is good for white, but maybe not good, but slightly better for white, or at least equal chances when white hasn't even castled yet. But now I gained another tempo by being able to castle. So now I'm like, okay, this has got to be good for white. So I play c4. He plays knight e7, which I annotated this game. So I gave that a question mark because now this knight blocks the bishop's development, and which therefore blocks the rook's development. So he played down 2 pieces for the entire game because he never got these 2 pieces into the game. And I play knight c3. He plays d4. So knight c3, I genuinely don't know how to handle these positions. So Ethan said after the game that maybe I could have just taken the d5 pawn immediately and then played, knight d3. Maybe that was a better way of approaching the position. The way I played with knight c3 now, and I'm on d4, and I'm kind of like waving the red flag. I'm like, oh yeah, go f5. Fully commit to the center. I triple dog dare you. And he didn't accept my triple dog dare. Instead, if he did do this, I might go knight c5 here, and then he could play e4. And I don't know what I was smoking during the game, because this genuinely doesn't look that good. I don't know what I'm thinking, because now my bishop doesn't have eyes on c6, and yeah, this is a decent equip for the knight. I guess I was thinking that, say knight g6 or something like that. Well, if my move, I could play b4 maybe, solidify my knight, I guess, and maybe play bishop b2. I guess that's my idea. Actually, this doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Yeah, bishop b2, takes. Actually, I'm pretty good at this game. Yeah. And if bishop e6, I could take here attacking if he castles. Do I actually really want to do that? I guess I could do that. Yeah, castles. Maybe I could play queen d2, queen 8, queen c3, and target g7 now. I don't know. Okay, this actually doesn't look that bad though. Maybe I wasn't giving myself enough credit during the game. Okay. I don't really remember thinking about playing bishop b2 to target the d4 pawn if you play d4. I do remember thinking to myself that the d4 pawn would be weak if he went for f5, e4, but I wasn't entirely sure. So he doesn't go all in. He goes queen c7 now, guarding e5, preparing to push c5. So he wants to solidify his extra space with move c5, but now I put my knight in front of the pawn, so now he cannot push the pawn to c5 because my knight is there, and it's not super easy. It's not super easy. If he goes like knight g6 or something like that, attacking my knight, I have a couple options. I can go queen a4. So giving up my knight, so then I can go bishop c6 check. Although in this case, I'll probably take with the queen, because now it's a check, and now it's another check, and now I pick up the rook. So I win in exchange when all said is done. So there are a lot of positions where I can leave my knight on c5 hanging. So he goes rook b8, sidestepping the bishop's vision, and now I go queen a4, applying pressure on the c6 pawn with both my bishop and my queen. And now if he moves knight, I'll be taking with check. He cannot easily add a defender because I can always take when the moment is right. And after queen a4, he makes probably his final mistake, which is queen b6. Because now I go knight d3, attacking e5. So his queen was guarding e5, but now since he moved back, it's no longer guarding e5, and now the pawn is simply hanging, and there's no good way to defend it. If you go knight b6 to defend, well then of course the c6 pawn hangs. If you go f6, I go f4, which is what happened in the game, and you cannot push because I would take, and if you take, then I take with my knight or my bishop, probably my bishop here, attacking the rook. Now if you go back to a8, I mean, this is just miserable to say the least. Maybe I can play c5. Maybe I should play c5 here. And after you move your queen, I can go queen takes d4. Oh, not immediately. I can't go there immediately. That's if you go queen a6, I can go there. So queen d8. Then maybe I can go bishop d6 here, attacking the knight and attacking c6 one more time. So it looks pretty good here. Looks pretty good indeed. So after I play f4, he plays bishop f5 here, attacking my knight, and I take on e5. So even though I've been going through this game pretty quickly, we were spending like more than 5 minutes a move. It's move 15, and now we both have under 5 minutes on the clock. We are both time trouble addicts, and we are both getting precipitously lower and lower on the clock. And at this point, we both stopped notating, which is kind of insane. It's move 15. Neither of us knew what we were doing. But luckily, I had a good position and he did not. So even though I didn't know what I was doing, it was pretty okay for me. And he took on d3 after I took on e5 because I was attacking his bishop. And it was kind of loose on f5 because the bishop was guarded by the knight, and the knight guards both the c6 pawn and the f5 square. So it was a bit loose there. And I genuinely considered taking on f6. That was one of my ideas. And I thought, okay, well, after bishop takes, I can take his knight. If he gives a check by pushing, I can go rook f2, getting my rook off the vision of the bishop. But then I was like, okay, well, if I take on e7, he can take my bishop, and if I take his bishop with check, he can take back with his rook. And now it's looking a little bit slicey dicey, not very nicey. If I trade queens here, then his rook guards his bishop. And if I take, well, now he gives a check, and my king is very naked very quickly. I'm going to get stuck in the corner here. and absolutely slaughtered. This ain't my cup of tea or coffee for that matter. So I originally thought about maybe taking on f6 after he took my knight, but I was like, nay, said the horse. I'm just gonna take back on d3, and I still have a really great position here. He takes back on e5. Now my rook has opened up, and once again, his bishop and his rook has not moved yet. He's playing down 2 pieces. His knight is in a defensive position. Meanwhile, I am just going to simply finish development as I do in the game. Bishop g5, attacking c6. He defends c6 with his king. And then I attack his pawn by developing a rook. He defends his pawn with his king. And I sacrifice the rook because if he takes, it is not checkmate. I simply win a pawn because I took a pawn. And then if I give a check, if he goes on the f file, then I take his rook with check, or his queen for the matter, maybe if I want to. And if he goes back to e6, then I go bishop h3 check. And look at this bishop pair from he double hockey stick here, absolutely cutting off the king's mobility. And so he would have to step on the f file and lose his rook or lose his queen. So I win at least a pawn, maybe just his queen if I want it. So after rook takes e5, he plays h6 here, trying to just do an in-between move. It should still be losing no matter what he does, but I just play c5, check, winning the queen, and he resigns. So that was a very topsy-turvy game. Originally, when I was annotating this game, I actually thought maybe I misevaluated the position after f5, knight c5, and e4. But now, after seeing that I have b4 and bishop e2, I actually think I'm doing quite okay. I'm not really sure if this was the best plan to go knight c3, to go knight e4, but I think it's okay. Another thing I was thinking about after d4, before playing knight c3, I thought like maybe I want to play knight b5 here, taking advantage of the pin. But I was like, never mind, that's stupid. Rook b8, and like I'm helping him, and then I can take, sure, but then like bishop d7, and like what am I doing with my life? This isn't very good. My knight is trapped. Why am I doing this? But anyways, I go on to win the game, and I enter round 4 with 3 out of 3, and I'm playing a 1600 in the last round. This was only a 10-player tournament. It was rated in Frederick, but there's only 10 people or so, and I was the highest rated person there, so I'm playing another 1600 in round 4. So with that being said, I'm going to hit the game review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.